Hey toy fans, I'm D21Beast and welcome to the second day of my 13 Days of Halloween special video series. And today we are taking a look at Hellboy, released by Gentle Giant in 2007. Now if you're not familiar with what my 13 Days of Halloween is all about or the contest I'm running, definitely check the link in the description below this video. You'll see the blog where I discuss what's going on, but here we are on the second day, and we're looking at an amazing looking Hellboy figure that I was so glad to pick up back in 2007, who actually came packed in with that movie to the right, Hellboy Animated Blood and Iron. Let's go ahead and get things started, guys, by taking a look at that DVD box, and then we'll get over to the figure. Alright guys, as we take a look at this DVD packaging, if you're not familiar with Hellboy and who he is a character who was created by Mike Mignola and first appeared in 1993. And Hellboy is part of a detective agency, as it were, a supernatural detective agency who hunts creatures that go bump in the night, and they are the ones who bump back. And you can kind of see on the front cover of this DVD here the sort of creatures that Hellboy takes on. Flipping this package around now, you do see on the back a description of what this movie's about, and you've got some character artwork off towards the right, and the DVD special features, and even some additional information towards the bottom of the DVD. Now this movie was not a theatrical release, it was direct to DVD, but it did come packaged with the figure you saw at the beginning of this review. So let's go ahead and check out that Hellboy figure. Alright Spook fans, so here we have our Hellboy figure, and what you're probably going to notice if you're a fan of Hellboy is that the design of this figure is definitely different from the way Mike Mignola typically draws the figure. As you can see off here to the right, we do have an image of the way that Mike Mignola traditionally draws Hellboy, and that version of Hellboy seems flatter. I know it's 2D, but he seems flatter and almost like more rock-like looking than the Hellboy that we have here in the center. This particular Hellboy is designed for the animated films. There was this one and then another one that actually came out a few years later. And the concept artist for this particular film was an artist named Sean Cheeks Galloway. And if that name's not familiar to you, his work will be, because he was the guy who did the concept artwork for the spectacular Spider-Man cartoon series. So that concept artist designed this Hellboy, and I think it looks really, really great. And because that concept artist designed this Hellboy figure, that's why I chose to buy the Figure Movie 2-pack when this film came out. Let's go ahead and get started by taking a look at the paintwork and sculpting on this figure. The first thing we're going to see here is that this Hellboy figure does have a cigar sculpted in his mouth, which is great. He's got some teeth sculpted in there, and he's got some paint variation on the sideburns and on his chin here on the soul patch. He's got some paint shading on the horns, as you can see here in the little cracks. And as we come down the figure, you'll see the paint shading continues on his body, around his musculature, and around the joints of the figure. He's also got this sculpted work on the belt, which is great. We got lots of pouches here, a real working holster we'll touch on in accessories. And you can see the sculpt work and the wash here on the right hand of Doom. As you come over to the other side, you can see that there's some sculpt work here on the wrist and some more paint wash. The figure on the back has the same wash going on his musculature and the continuation of the sculpting on the belt. He's got these shorts with some actual fabric lines in them. And then we come down and we have his hooves, which are predominantly black, a little bit of a light gray and a black mixture. So lots of great work went into this figure. And despite the fact that he's got these toothpick legs, he does stand very well. Now, if any of you have this figure and you're looking at him right now, you're probably wondering, where the heck did that trench coat come from? And that's a good question. This Hellboy figure didn't originally come with a trench coat on him. In fact, he came without the coat, which is the way he looks when the animated film first starts and he's walking through some sewers. This particular coat actually comes from a Fantastic Four trench coat Ben Grimm figure. Thank you, Ben. And that figure honestly isn't that great, but he had that trench coat accessory, which I saw instantly the potential to put it on my Hellboy figure and make this Hellboy look the way he really should look with his trench coat on. So, since pretty much the moment I got that Ben Grimm, this Hellboy's been rocking that trench coat, and I think it looks great. Consider it a minor customization, if you will, but I'm pretty proud of it, and I like to keep him displayed that way. Hellboy comes with all the accessories that you see here. The first one we're going to take a look at is this alternate hand for his right hand of Doom. His regular hand that you see here does have sort of a fist motion, and that's great for punching or just kind of a neutral position. But he also has this open sort of extended hand, and you can see it's got the same nice amount of paint wash and sculpted detail on here. Really fantastic accessory. And it just interchanges the hand that's on the figure already. He also has this Samaritan, this amazingly large pistol that Hellboy is known for carrying around. You've seen it in the films, it's in the animated movie, and of course it's in the comic books. And it's got some great paint detailing on there. I like sort of the dark gunmetal color of the actual gun itself. And it just looks great in the figure's holster or even in his hand. And the last accessory that Hellboy comes with here is a closed left fist. So you don't always have to give him the trigger hand. You can give him just a fist if that's what you want him to have. So got a nice amount of variation or a nice amount of posability with the Hellboy figure with those accessories alone. The other thing that he comes with, which is nice because while those legs that he stands on are strong, surprisingly, they don't always hold up. He has this display stand. It's just sort of a flat, round Hellboy animated stand, just red on the inside, and it's got this peg sticking up, and Hellboy himself does have a hole here, right in there between his legs, and the figure can just go right on top of that display stand. Now, most of the time I do display this Hellboy on the stand just because I don't want his joints to get any weaker in the legs, and he goes on it pretty nicely, and he'll stand, and really, nothing's going to rock this guy. He'll stay just fine in that position. Moving on to articulation, we can see that this Hellboy figure does have a head that'll rotate a full 360 degrees. He does have a joint that allows his head to look up just ever so slightly, and look down much better. He's got a ball jointed shoulder, and his arm will rotate a full 360 degrees around the ball joint. Now with the coat, of course, it's a bit hindered, but the joint is there, I assure you. He's also got full bicep rotation. He's got a single jointed elbow that allows his arm to move in that far and move out that far. He's got a full rotation at the wrist, as well as a hinge that allows his hand to go up that far and down that far. And he has the same articulation on the other side. And then we do have an ab crunch on the figure. You can see that he bends forward only that far, and he does bend back amazingly far, which is great for such a huge figure. He doesn't have any sort of waist rotation. He does have these sort of almost ball-jointed hips here, so his leg can move forward that far, it can move back that far, it can move out from the body ever so slightly. There is a double-jointed knee, and I'm not really going to flex that too much. I really am paranoid that these things are going to break, but he does have a double-jointed knee. He has a full rotation at the ankle here, or at the boot cut, and then his foot does bend down that far and bend up that far, and he's also got some toe articulation rather. His toe bends down very far and bends up. So a great range of motion on this Hellboy figure to be sure. Gentle Giant did not let us down. Height-wise, we can see this Hellboy figure does come in at just over 6.5 inches tall. For some size comparison, here we have Hellboy standing next to the 6-inch scale Marvel Legends Infinite Series Wolverine. You know, I went to hell once. Now you know why I left. Alright guys, well that's my review of Hellboy Animated, released by Gentle Giant in 2007. And overall, this is an absolutely fantastic figure. You guys definitely want to rush out and pick this up if you can still find it. I only ever saw this particular Hellboy figure packed at the movie, and I did have to pay extra for it back in the day. But I don't remember ever seeing Gentle Giant have a full range of Hellboy figures. If they did, I just completely missed it, and I'm sorry I did, but this is an absolutely great figure to own. Well, thanks for watching my review, guys. Hope you enjoyed what you saw here. Please feel free to rate, share, and subscribe. Also, be sure to stay on top of my 13 Days of Halloween review series. I've got 13 videos, this is only the second one, and if you watch all the videos and follow the instructions in my video log in the description below, you might have a chance at winning some cool prizes. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next time.